Say, my guys, what's happening? Uri Bo. My name is Tim Marks, or Timothy if you want to be a little bit more formal. I'm a wildlife photographer and filmmaker based in Harare, Zimbabwe. My story began a long time ago in my local church, where I found that I like using cameras and I like telling stories. One thing led to another. I went to film school. 4 years after doing my film school, I came back to Zimbabwe in 2010 and formed TD Marks Film and Photography. My goal was to try and tell as many stories of wildlife conservation as I could. And over the next 8 years, instead of just doing conservation, I filmed anything you can think of to make ends meet, money, so that I could do what I'm passionate about, which is wildlife conservation. So that meant I filmed weddings, I filmed funerals, I filmed events, I did concerts. You name it, I probably filmed it. Even birthdays. So never despise the days of small beginnings when you are starting out as a filmmaker, because in order to do what you're passionate about, sometimes you've got to do the things that you are not that passionate about. After filming for 8 years, I managed to get a big break, became a Mandela Washington Fellow, and went to the United States to study business and entrepreneurship with 19 different other leaders from across the continent of Africa, which was an extreme privilege for me. Subsequently finishing that, I was accepted to do my master's at the University of the West of England in Bristol, the United Kingdom, in documentary production, where I managed to finish and pass, which is good. I created for myself an interesting niche doing medical documentaries, and now I am back in Zimbabwe after completing that with the goal of continuing being TD Marks Film and Photography, but also continuing to look for the stories that matter to the community, that matter to people. And it's easy to forget as a wildlife filmmaker that the animals, as important as they are, it's the people that conserve them and their life stories that make the big difference and give us the privilege to go to these places and see these amazing animals. I'm really thankful to be doing it in the country of Zimbabwe, despite the political turmoil and the economic upheaval. For our community, what I'm striving to do is to grow the young filmmakers and photographers by giving them good technical understanding, but also helping them understand that unless you have a story, doesn't matter what equipment you have, it doesn't matter how you show it, if you're not got a story that is cohesive and that people can understand, people can't connect with you. So my passion as a filmmaker and photographer is to not just give them the technical understanding and give them the creative juices to script and to create the content they want, but also the business acumen and know-how to take this product to marketplace, to show people this is who we are, this is what we do, these are the stories we tell. So my job within the community is to empower others so they can stand on my shoulders and go further than I ever would. Because there's some stories that simply will not be told by me, not because I don't want to, but I'm not the right conduit for telling those stories. And that's the important thing. You may look up to people like myself or David Attenborough or any other filmmaker globally and think you want to become like me. Well, there's a problem there, because actually nobody can tell stories the way you can. And that's my job, to help you as a filmmaker discover what your voice is, what are the stories you want to tell, and best equip you to go forward and tell those stories. So this is TD Marks or Tim from Zim. You can catch me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. My handle is @Tim from Zim. So, at Tim from Zim, signing out.